Hello, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. Today we are doing an unhaul. I have a whole bag here of books that are leaving my collection. They are going to McKay's or the thrift store or going to other people. They're just not staying at my house. So I thought we could go through them and just talk about them. Okay, so first we have The Lincoln Highway by Immortals. I've never read anything by this author, but it's scary. I always read the descriptions of Immortals books and they always seem really interesting to me, but then I see that they're like almost 600 pages and I get terrified. But see, even now I'm reading the description of this and it seems like something I would like, but I'm so scared of it. But this is also one of those books that I feel like every used bookstore I go in, I see this. So I feel like I could probably pick it up at any point if I ever wanted to in the future. And I got this at McKay's with trade credit. It cost me $5 in trade credit, so I'm just gonna take it back there and get more trade credit back. Next we have A Fall of Marigolds by Susan Meisner. This cost me 70 cents in trade credit at McKay's, and I'm just unhauling this because I have another version. I didn't realize I had already hauled this. This copy was 84 cents, and this is just a nicer, newer copy, so this one's just gonna go back. So that's kind of an odd one, but I haven't read A Fall of Marigolds yet, but hopefully I will soon. Next, we have one that I did read, and that is The Briar Club by Kate Quinn. This was the group read for Historathon. I am so happy that I was able to co-host with Gloria and Lindsay, and I will link the live show for this book in the description box, but I just didn't really like it, and I gave it 2 stars, and I bought it full price for $29. So we're going to pass it along so that somebody else can hopefully enjoy it more than I did. All right, next we have Until We Meet by Camille DeMaio. Camille DeMaio, sorry, it's covered by that sticker. And I think I got this at a swap that I did in June when I met Krista from Books and Jams. And I don't remember anything about this. I know I read it, and I'm pretty sure I read it for Jeopardy, and I'm pretty sure I gave it 2 stars, but I don't remember anything about it. So yeah, that's going to a new home. Next we have Lost Boy Found by Kirsten Alexander, and this sounded so good. 1913 in Louisiana, based on the real story of a child who disappeared, and this was $4 in trade credit at McKay's, and I tried to read it like 4 times and I just couldn't get into it. So I DNF'd it, and it is nice. It has deckled edges and it sounds interesting, but I couldn't get into it, and so I DNF'd it at like 50 pages. Next we have Running with Scissors by Augustine Burroughs. I DNF'd this. I originally was reading it for a vlog where I read my friend Jackie's favorites, but no, huge pass. Huge pass. And I got this in Colorado Springs at a bookstore, but I didn't finish it, and I'm not going to. All right, next we have The Medicine Woman of Galveston by Amanda Skinendor. I did buy this for 50% off at Barnes & Noble, and it does have deckled edges, and I think I gave this 3 stars, but I don't need to keep it. It's a Kensington published book, and I generally like the Kensington published historical fiction books. I have enjoyed both books by Amanda Skinendor that I've read. Generally, I've given them both 3 stars, but I just don't feel like I need to keep it. This kind of reminded me a little bit of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, but then it also is supposed to have an element of the Galveston hurricane, like the really famous one, but I didn't really learn anything about that natural disaster, and it's about this like traveling medicine show, and it was fine, but I don't need to keep it. I try not to keep books that were 3 stars. I try to only keep 4 and 5-star books. All right, next we have one that makes me so sad. This is White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I have had this on my shelf since probably 2014. I think somebody gave me this when I graduated college, and it's supposed to be a good story about like foster care, and it's supposed to be a character study, and I've heard so many things about it. It was an Oprah's book club pick. Like this is a bestseller. But I could not get into it. I could not get into it. I've tried multiple times. I've tried so many times to get into this book, and this is a brand new copy. I've had it sitting on my shelf for years, and I tried really hard. When I tell you I probably tried to read this book harder than I've tried to read any book before in my life. I just could not get into it. So it's gonna go to a new home that will enjoy it even more. Next, I have Little Disasters by Sarah Vaughan. I read this in September and I couldn't tell you a single thing about it. A single thing. Couldn't tell you anything. Couldn't tell you anything about it. Next, we have Closer to Okay by Amy Watson. This is an Aardvark book club pick. I am not subscribed to Aardvark, but they did send this to me in November of 2022. and I haven't read it, and I don't think I'm going to. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. So yeah, it's finally gonna go. I've had it on my shelf since then, and I keep thinking I'm gonna pick it up, but I just know myself and I know that I'm not. So it's gonna go to a new home. And then last we have Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. This was a book of the month pick from February 2017. And I remember really liking this book when I read it, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about it now. And anytime that I hear other people pitch this, I'm like, that doesn't really seem very interesting. And so I definitely don't think that this stood up as a 4-star read. It's definitely dropped to like a 3-star, and I just have no interest in reading it again. And I don't really read sci-fi, and I don't know, I enjoyed it when I read it in 2017, but I feel like I'm done with it and it can go to somebody else. Okay, those are 11 books that I am unhauling that are leaving my collection. Let's see if I can pick them up. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think about them. And any of these books that I said I DNF'd or didn't read, if you think that I should pick them up and try them again, maybe try and make a convincing argument and I would consider it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my Vlogmas uploads, and I'll see you in tomorrow's. Bye!